Hi YouTube, just wanted to do a very quick video just to articulate my thoughts on the latest incarnation of iTunes 11, and in particular this video will just focus on the iTunes Store. Now, I'm running this on a Acer Aspire 1 Happy, which is a very kind of low-end device. Cheap netbook that I picked up for under £100 from Amazon a slight second. It's only running kind of standard Intel Atom processor, and its operating system is Windows 7 Starter. I just wanted to have a quick kind of exploration of iTunes 11 and also the iTunes Store. This is the iTunes Store. As you can see, these products are scrolling by. If we just scroll down, I can't help thinking that some of this has been rushed and hasn't been fully thought through. For example, there's a free book option of a download here, Yellow Submarine. Now, it might seem obvious to many, but as a Windows user, I thought, oh, free book, I wonder if that'll be something you can just download and open. It'll just be kind of its own little program. So I attempted to download it. It said it wouldn't download, then it eventually downloaded. I opened the program under Books. As you can see, I've changed the style back to more of a classic design. But I opened Books, and it said it wouldn't actually open if it didn't actually own an iOS device or an Apple an iOS device 5.0 or over. Well, I didn't know that you needed an iOS device to actually operate, to use this, or to see this free book. And there's nowhere that states on the main page that you need one. Also, some of it is just, again, I'm not massively familiar with iTunes. I've only just come back to using it upon purchasing this product because I refused to have it on my high-end device. I did have it on my old Windows Vista PC, and it just made it so slow. But I died. Excuse me, getting off the track there. Oh, another thing that really irritates me, just as an aside, it doesn't seem to quite fit the screen. Look at that, and look at that. Look where the actual sidebar is. Now, I don't know if this is some kind of problem on most PCs, or it's just the fact that I'm using a netbook. But why doesn't it fit the screen? I mean, it fits almost, it's still usable, but what is the point of that? Why is it not quite fitting? It's nothing to do with the fact that the scroll bar, because the actual page is larger than the actual page itself, or the actual page, the real page is larger than the kind of window section page that I'm showing. But why has that got to be off the screen? It doesn't really make any sense. But anyway, I'm rambling a bit, if you'll indulge me. Mastered for iTunes, which is the section that I found, which looks like it's aiming for the kind of audiophile market. There's a whole kind of section of a genre devoted to Pink Floyd, and I think it seems to be focused upon tracks that have been specifically mastered for the iTunes AAC format. But again, there's no actual information that tells you, oh, there's a tiny link there, but look how poorly designed that is. You've got this huge kind of real estate where you've got all these artists, and you can click on, but actually finding out what Mastered for iTunes is this tiny little section there which you might miss. And again, there's like this little box here. You know, when I first clicked on that, it didn't actually even load. I thought, what's the point of that? But it's actually a kind of preview history. But again, that's no kind of representation of what that actually means. Very strange. So we click on Mastered for iTunes. Oh, that just sends you to Mastered for iTunes. It doesn't actually tell you anything about it. Well, isn't that a poor show? You think if there was some kind of special kind of encode or a higher bitrate that we're using, that they'd be shouting from the rooftops about it. You know, Mastered for iTunes, you know, highest quality, get it now. But there doesn't seem to be any kind of explanation. Oh, again, look at the size of these icons. and nothing tells you about what message for iTunes is. Excuse me. How do they expect to sell to anyone except complete, Apple doting Macbags who probably found out about this through some kind of blog? How do they expect to sell this to the general public? I mean, whether it's just a scam and there's no actual real difference between the standard 256k BPS AAC files that you download from iTunes on this, if there's no actual difference and they're just kind of bullshitting, maybe that's why, but who knows. So anyway, as I said, I've moved the kind of view into more of a traditional view, going back to the kind of list style that you can pick. But I've got to say, I found this kind of incarnation of iTunes very strange. When I'm trying to load old 4GB iPod that I have, a 3rd generation Nano, there doesn't seem to be any option of actually seeing the songs that are on the actual Nano. It just kind of lists them in groups of genres. There's the option to manually transfer them, and that's what I had to actually do. But again, you can't just click on the iPod and see what's on it. It doesn't seem to make any sense. One of the strange kind of facets of iTunes. You've got rid of cover flow, which I actually do miss. I know a lot of people slag it off, but sometimes it's nice to just kind of scroll, up and down through your music library, and that would work. Actually, cover flow would work fantastic with touch. This is obviously not a touch screen, but all this kind of hoo-ha about Windows 8, and yes, I have serious reservations about Windows 8 as an operating system. It just seems schizophrenic and split into two. But cover flow will work fantastic with touchscreen. So if Apple do ever make a touchscreen device, kind of catch up with the rest of the computer community or the industry, that would be one of the first things I'd bring back, but I digress. Just as a comparison, just bear with me 1 second, this is quite a slow computer because it's only running an Intel Atom and it's 1.5 gigahertz, so not too bad, but it's only got a 1 gig DDR3 memory. So anyway, so this is as a comparison is Google Play, which is kind of one of its main rivals, or probably its main rival now, with Windows kind of hitting the skids and the Android market exploding. Sorry, just bear with me 1 second, it seems to be having a bit of a fit. That's loaded Facebook for some reason. How very strange. I'm running Firefox on this, which is my browser of choice. But for some reason it just really kind of struggles. I'll be doing a full review of this computer as well as a kind of demonstration of my full setup on my high-end device in a later video, which won't be on this HTC phone, which really irritates me. You can only kind of video in portrait. Seems really retarded. But yeah, it's asking me to sign in to my Google account, and my passwords come straight up because I haven't actually looked at Google Play on this computer. I've only used it on this HTC phone that I'm filming from. But just as a comparison, the Google seems to have a really nice way of setting things out. Everything seems really clean, really uncluttered. Very much like the way that Apple kind of used to be, or Apple is. If you kind of ignore iTunes, it's interesting that Johnny Ive's come in, and I don't think he's really had much chance to do much with the actual program, but I think when he gets his hands on it, he'll really kind of go back or move on to something more like the kind of Google design, because it's so much more simple, and because it's all mostly online, it really kind of is much quicker. There's not the kind of spasm between your own computer and actually going online. This is asking me for details about setting up Google Wallet, etc. So we'll leave that one for now. But yeah, iTunes. If you're craving going back to kind of the original iTunes, you can go into File and or Edit rather in Preferences, and that will actually enable you to choose to return to some of the older preferences, etc. But there you go. There's lots of articles online that you can look at that actually show you in detail how to restore your iTunes back to more of an original or an iTunes 10 design. But again, this isn't a real formal review of iTunes 11. I'm just kind of sharing my thoughts with you at 4:30 in the morning with a baby keeping me awake all night, and there you go. I just thought I'd nip on here and express some of my thoughts about iTunes 11. Apologies if this video is quite rambling, but hey, if you're still listening, well done. And again, I'll have a full review of this little computer and my full setup, etc. in the next couple of weeks. So if you're a fan of my videos, stay tuned. Okay, and I'll see you later, YouTube. Bye.